Okay, this is just going to be a short video of the homestead here. What I have, got a half a dozen golden comets. What are y'all doing? You guys laying eggs today? Huh? Get back in there. Get back in. Okay, thank you. And that's their home. And a little bit of livestock. And horses. And I'm going to make my way over to my garden and my tiny little apiary of one hive. At least that's where I'm started. Started out beekeeping this year and set up this hive 2.5 months ago. As you can see, that one apple tree there is just loaded down, so loaded down that I got branches that are starting to break. I had to prop things up, keep them off the ground. And here's the hive. Lots of activity going in and out. This is what's called the dearth, which means there is no nectar flow right now in the wild. So I am feeding them with a concoction of really just 1-to-1 sugar syrup, which contains also honeybee healthy, which has essential oils like lemongrass oil and wintergreen oil. I think there's even one other, I don't remember right now. As you can see, with no wild sources for nectar, they're really going to town on draining this. This thing will be drained in about 4 or 5 hours probably. Here's my Back to Eden garden. It's called Back to Eden garden because, as you can see on the ground, there's wood chips. Underneath those wood chips is compost, and on the top is, well, chicken litter. This is where that lighter colored wood there is the chicken litter, which I've spread around. Didn't have enough to spread it around the entire garden, but when I do change out, clean the chicken coop, that litter comes here. So I've got some tomato plants back there, more tomato plants here, got some parsley, catnip, which the cats love, and some sweet basil, some pepper plants. Not too big on eggplant, but I did plant a couple of them. Only one survived, and it is slowly coming up. We've been in a real drought here, but thanks to the Back to Eden garden concept, moisture is retained underneath the mulch and is doing a lot of help. A lot of people I know around here have lost their gardens. Here's some watermelons beginning to grow. It looks like a little pickle there. Here's one that's a little bit bigger. And there's a little idea with my hand of how big it is. Those will grow, literally, they'll change overnight. Won't go through all of there, but I found at least a half a dozen without hardly looking. So those are 3 vines that are spreading out quite a bit. I call these my volunteers. There's other tomato plants that are scattered throughout the garden that came up from last year. I'm glad they did, because I had some issues earlier in the season with some disease on some of my other plants that I had to pull up. I had to pull up 6 tomato plants that were not doing very well. These are sweet potato plants. I do have a little problem with a mole or a vole in here because one of them is laying on the ground over there. I pulled up this morning and found out that the roots were completely chewed off. Big cherry tomato plant here, and once again, these are beans. I tried to stagger those, planted them at different times. And let's see. Had some corn. I've harvested most of the corn already. Didn't plant a lot of it. I still have some more. I staggered that too, so we'd have that through several weeks in the winter. I'm sorry, in the summer. This was another volunteer setup. Pumpkins. I didn't plan on growing pumpkins this year, but they came up on their own. And as you can see, this plant is already dying out from all the growth, and I think it may have even gotten some damage from a vole. Same over here. It seems like once they've done a good job of producing, they begin to die out. But the bees love these large flowers. Let me see if I can find one. Well, most of them are closed up for some reason, so I can't show an example there. But there's some pumpkins. So anyway, I'll stand back a little bit, get a little broader view. And that's my Back to Eden garden. I'm grateful for the bounty it produces. There's a small strawberry patch, and over in the distance, those are red raspberries. They produced quite a few red raspberries this year, but that season's over. And back in the woods over there, there's a lot of wild blackberries that are growing. And that's it for now.